that are taking place. Some Palestinians are being charged up to $2,000.
I'm not going to South Africa for the G20 because I think their policies on the extermination of people are unacceptable. So I'm not going. So I won't refer to anything having to do with South Africa. South Africa has behaved extremely badly. But
to pursue the agenda of white supremacy.
You think Trump is pursuing a white supremacist agenda?
Yes, I think so.
Sunrise over DC, coffee in my hand. Saw the headlines from a faraway land. South Africa's politicos
running their mouth again about America and me. Where does it all end? Near about a whole year of the same old tune.
name calling in tall tales beneath the African moon. Oh, it's more trash in the USA. I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare, pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough,
Patience wearing thin.
gonna tell the world the truth.
Where do I begin? They talk about freedom and justice for all, while their own people are answering a different call.
Farmers on their homesteads,
Living in fear and dread,
minority voices silence words left unsaid.
promises like tumbleweeds blowing in the breeze, while their leaders keep on preaching,
Bringing us to our knees. Oh, it's more trash in the USA. I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare, pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough,
patience wearing thin.
gonna tell the world the truth.
Where do I begin?
I try to stay quiet,
Let it roll right on by.
but a man can only take so much beneath God's sky. That's the honest truth.
When you see folks suffering, it just ain't right.
Gonna set the record straight with all of my might. Oh, it's more trash in the USA. I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare, pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough,
Patience wearing thin.
gonna tell the world the truth.
Where do I begin?
Yeah, more trash in the USA.
But the truth will find its way.
Pretoria, listen up to what I gotta say. God bless America, come what may.
Come what may.
Yeah, man! Serious times down in Johannesburg. Watch the fire now. Listen! The horns! Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The
lights were low for the big G20 show. Leaders coming from across the sea to talk about the world economy. Johannesburg was dressed to impress, ready to clean up the global mess. But before the first gavel could sound, a different kind of noise started going around. Now everybody talking about Cyril's big blunder. He lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. The Kineon see politicians step up to the mic, spewing out words that nobody like. They open their mouths and the fire jump out, insulting America, scream and shout. They're telling tall tales, they're telling the lies, right there under the African skies. And the media catch it, they run with the ball, they amplify the noise until the whole thing follow. Talking about Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah. Watch the house of cards, they're tumbling on. Yeah, blow it down, what a mess. I look at the president sitting up high, I see that little twinkle in his eye. He cracking that smile, that devious grin, while the diplomatic ice is getting very thin. You think the eagle gonna take that heat? Nah, sir, they won't take a seat. No Uncle Sam at your Josie party. You chase them away, you're acting too hearty. It's Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah, yeah, they staying away America now come to Johannesburg today. You set the house on fire, man, what kind of plan? Cyril, wipe that smile off your face. It's a disgrace. No, sir. No, sir.
From our broadcast studios live in central Pennsylvania, but we haven't turned the on-air sign on, so we're going to have to fix that. Hang on. There we go. Now it's real. Live from our broadcast studios in central Pennsylvania, it's Common Sense with the Colonel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an eventful day here on the 250th anniversary year of the United States as the evil dictator in Venezuela has been taken down after a federal indictment in 2020, finally executed in January of 2026. Sound check time. Finally executed. Sounds pretty darn good. Looking good to me. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The left will melt down, losing their mind. People around the world supporting the United States action in taking down a narco-terrorist. Yet Democrats and leftist hate wankers across Europe are wringing their hands, and in South Africa as well. Is this, ladies and gentlemen, Cyril Ramaphosa's Maduro moment? Will he wake up and realize the foolhardy actions he has been involved in? Will the MTN terrorism scandal bring down a president? Will it give Donald Trump the justification for his SEAL Team 6 raid in Pretoria? Would he dare? 24 hours ago, I would say no. But today, who knows? Has the ANC heard loud and clear what's taking place in Washington, D.C.? You can moan, you can scream, you can cry, you can declare it's unreal. You can cry to the United Nations Security Council. A waste of time knowing full well that the United States has veto and nothing would pass it. Stupid, stupid people should wear signs. Should we include the African National Congress leadership in that group of stupid people, or are they brighter than we think they are? You tell me, folks. You tell me. Yes, too bad for Mandami. He can't go to Caracas on vacation. Well, what about Delta Force? They could also pull this mission off. And in fact, it might have been Delta Force. Yeah, but most people know more about SEAL Team 6 than do about Delta Force, so we'd like to keep it that way. The left is melting down. Their panties are in a bunch this evening, folks. Truly, truly in a bunch. Panties in a bunch. Crazy stuff. So we've had nearly 5,000 views on our impromptu interview earlier with the refugees from South Carolina who are up here. What an amazing interview. Hello, Stoltz family. May God bless you. Wish you the best success. What a beautiful family. Love the Stoltz family. Great family. Awesome interview. Wonderful to see. Love this family. Thanks, Colonel. Okay, do share. Sure. All right, so I've just looked at those comments. Anyway, yeah, so crazy stuff, folks. So Cyril, I just posted that 36 minutes ago. It's got 1,000 views already. That's pretty good on a Sunday morning. Context, South Africa is still democracy. ANC were elected for elections. No one ANC had been charged as drug traffickers supporting terror yet. So still a ways from during a moment. Future looks bright. Cyril Ramaphosa is embroiled in a terrorism case, 5 to be exact, 5 Anti-Terrorism Act criminal actions against MTN from his time as chairman. No statute of limitations on the terrorism charges. Mkhibiso Jonas and Cyril Ramaphosa. So context is correct. Cyril Ramaphosa is in over his head. There is a grand jury indictment against MTN, investigation into what's happening right now. And there are 5 criminal cases against MTN at the moment in U.S. courts. 5 cases. 5 cases. Context matters. That's right. If the head of state of a foreign country is embroiled in funding terrorism efforts through a proxy, Iran, to murder American soldiers in Afghanistan, do you think the president will hesitate to take them down? One of the reasons why they went after Noriega was because of his stuff. One of the reasons, what's going on with my microphone suddenly acting up here? Yeah, your context is correct, but you got to give it the full context. You're obviously not aware of the MTN criminal cases, or you wouldn't have brought that point up. Werner Stoltz, good evening to you. Gotcha, future looks bright. I'm with you on that. Not yet. It's correct. It's not yet. That's why I'm asking the question now before it happens. It's called being prescient and asking the question now and making predictions before things happen. That's my point. I just published a video on that. Went out a few minutes ago. It's got 1,200 videos on it. Context is still democracy. Yeah, it is a democracy. That's democracy. I like how you say democracy. That's good. ANC were elected in elections, and no one has been charged as drug traffickers supporting terror. But MTN is in deep kimchi over that. Deep kimchi. And who is deeply involved from 2003 to 2013? Cyril Ramaphosa. And Mkhibiso Jonas has been involved since 2018. So they're all part of the same cabal, and they're in trouble. They're in trouble. Bribes to protect their networks and their mobile towers so they aren't knocked down, and then those networks being used by terrorists to kill Americans. A lot of people want to get their teeth in MTN. For those celebrating in different countries, that's what you're seeing. Do some research and you'll see that this is not all over Venezuela. No one claimed it was all over Venezuela. I didn't claim that. What's going on here? 1440. What did I miss from him? Yeah, there are people celebrating. But here, listen, Alan McGill, let's put this in perspective. If you're going to do that, there's always people who are loyal to corrupt regimes who will support it to its death. The Securitate in Bucharest, but they turned, that's how Ceausescu fell. They turned their back on him around Christmas 1989, and he wound up executed by a firing squad. These things happen. And so there are always people who support this sort of stuff. There are gangs running around the streets of Caracas now, harassing, shooting at people, and looting people who are supporters of Nicolas Maduro. All criminals have sycophants. All criminals, all terror regimes have their marching orders and have their fans and supporters. The fact that there are some people supporting a terrorist doesn't mean that he's right. And the fact that not everyone is jumping up and celebrating doesn't mean that something isn't a popular revolt. Most of the people who are celebrating are Venezuelans who are forced to flee because the terror, the rapes, the murders that took place in that country, the expropriation, the impoverishment, the degradation of the Venezuelan people have had to flee to Spain, to the United States, to countries around the world and are now celebrating. And I'll show you pictures of that since you guys want to have a debate about that. But let's get back to it. At approximately 4:21 a.m. this morning, the 3rd of January, 2025, President Donald Trump took to Truth Social, which he so often does, to announce a major development. And specifically, the United States had begun operations in Venezuela. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference 11 a.m. Actually, it was about 11:47 at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. I don't know what the 47-minute holdup was. I felt like we were waiting for Cyril Ramaphosa. It was very long, but no doubt he was being updated on the current situation before he came out and gave his press conference. U.S. strike in Venezuela. South Africa calls for urgent UN Security Council action. You're not even on the Security Council. Are they? Are they on it now? I thought they were off of it. In a statement on Saturday, Pretoria expressed grave concern of the Trump administration's large-scale military strike against Venezuela. That wasn't large-scale, sweetheart. You want to see large-scale? We'll show you. Shock and awe. That was minimal. Crispin Peary said South Africa views these actions as a manifest violation of the Charter of the United Nations, which mandates all member states refrain from threat or use of force against territorial integrity or political independence of any state. Well, Crispin Peary, you're mistaken, buddy. That's not what the UN Charter says, and you have gotten it wrong. And this is the statement. The government of South Africa's International Relations Cooperation Department issued this statement calling on the United Nations Security Council to sanction the United States for going after a narco-terrorist. Why did it take his wife? Because she was also indicted, Tolkien. She's involved in the criminal acts according to the U.S. prosecutor. She's also indicted on multiple federal charges of weapons charges, drug trafficking, terrorism-related financing, and a whole host of other things. She is also on him. We're ready to defend Venezuela. Vice President Rodriguez. I don't think many Venezuelans will shed blood for that regime. Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez said today that the government was ready to defend the country after an early morning operation. He's next in line to succeed Maduro, insisted in a live address that we're ready to defend Venezuela, we're ready to defend our national resources after Trump said Washington intends to run the Caribbean nation and tap its oil reserves. President Emmanuel Macron, searching for relevancy, desperately looking for attention, said the 2024 presidential candidate Edmundo González Urita should lead a peaceful transition to Venezuela, adding his people could only rejoice at the removal by the U.S. of President Maduro. Most people consider him the rightful winner of the election. You're correct. Future looks bright. Those charges were filed in 2020 in the Southern District of New York. I remember them. She didn't fly to Russia. What are you talking about? That's right. He wasn't the He wasn't the president. We didn't recognize him. So we went and got an international criminal. Maduro has arrived in New York City. The big date. It's not the apple anymore. The big date under the Islamist in chief, Zoran the Moran. Maduro arrives in New York, the big date, to face narco-terrorism charges. And his wife are en route to New York where they face indictment on narco-terrorism conspiracy charges. That's the motorcade, the West Side heliport in New York City. He landed at Stewart Air Force Base, Stewart Airfield, which used to be the military air base just north of New York City in Hudson Valley, and then was flown to an airport, a heliport. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said in an interview that President Trump set the terms on what happens next in Venezuela. He'll decide ultimately what the iterations that are. Rubio warns Cuban leaders after Maduro's capture. You're next. Rubio called Cuba's leaders incompetent, senile men during December 3rd press conference. Yep, and today he warned them again. My goodness. It's getting spicy. Maduro jailed in Brooklyn after his capture. Trump vows to run Venezuela's detained leader's government remains defiant. He offers few details on the U.S. would oversee the country. So here is a little blow-up of some of the stuff. The presidential palace, the intelligence headquarters, the strike on the airport, helicopters seen the video flying into a military area there. Military complex explosion. The New York Times busy trying to tell the world that Trump faces a backlash from the America First crowd. I don't think that's going to be a major problem for him. As I said, Maduro has arrived in New York. Whoop-de-doop-de-doo. Venezuelans in the U.S. react to Maduro's capture. Doral, Florida.
Currently in Doral, Florida, the heart of South Florida's Venezuelan American community. I'm at a restaurant called El Arepaso. Since about 5 a.m. this morning, people have been gathering to celebrate the fall of Nicolas Maduro's. Many of the people here told me they fled Venezuela, either during Maduro's regime or
Chavez.
predecessor, Hugo Chavez. Behind me, also people chanting. Just a few moments ago, they were chanting, "It's fallen, it's fallen, the regime has fallen." The mood here is absolutely ecstatic.
My family's still in Venezuela, and I've been looking forward to this day for so many years. Thank you, President Trump.
I'm so happy because now Venezuela is free.
There you go, folks. There you go. Charges were filed 20, but Biden did nothing. Probably better that he didn't, considering the abysmal military taxes would have handled. Yep. Just so you and the world is aware, Venezuelans are celebrating here in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. It's only TDS crybabies and communists against it. Yeah, no. Well, what are you doing in Mexico? Terry Barkhausen. Been a while, man. Did you disappear on us? Did you skip this refugee program by trying to? Are you coming across the Rio Grande? What's going on there, Terry? Don't tell me you're on holiday, man. Have you hired coyotes to bring you across the border? We'd like to know. What's your plan? Terry, I'm just teasing, man. I'm just teasing. Must be terrifying realizing you're about to be captured and rendered by U.S. police forces blowing your doors down. Yeah, no doubt. Multiple news sources say she fled to Russia today, Saturday, but only a few say she's in Russia. Well, the U.S. government says they have her. So who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe, Costa Chameleon? Ghostbusters or rumor mills? I will take the U.S. government at its word that they have her. Yep. Maduro arrives in New York after capture in Venezuela.
Won the Nobel Peace Prize and had been in hiding. Previously campaigned against U.S.
Why can't I hear this?
Why is running a country in South America America first?
I think it is because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability. We want to surround ourselves with energy.
And Venezuela's oil is central to the U.S.'s future plans there.
We're going to rebuild the oil.
Your first vice president. Yeah, maybe that's what we're talking about, Willem. The vice president may have fled, but the wife is in custody. A little trouble getting some of these videos to load. Come on, I pay you for this. Let's get it going. CNN is so unreliable. Won't play. Says it won't play the video, even though I pay these clowns for this service. Yeah, won't play it. Bullshit, CNN. Maduro brought to U.S. to face charges. Trump vows to run Venezuela.
We just saw President Nicolas Maduro, the Venezuelan president. We could see that it was indeed him, looking like he was wearing the same exact outfit that we saw earlier, a picture sent out by the administration, but a remarkable moment where we're seeing him walking on U.S. soil, flanked by more than a dozen federal agents. This is moments ago. I know it is very dark, hard to see, but eventually we will start start to see it lighten up just a bit, and you'll see most people surrounding him are wearing black clothing, but he is not. He is wearing something that is lighter, a gray color, or it looks like gray, potentially light blue, but similar to what we saw in the pictures that were sent out by the administration. You are seeing him there flanked by so many agents and taking steps very slowly as they take him to the next position.
Well, folks, remember Manuel Noriega, although Democrats running around saying this isn't, we can't do this, there's no precedent for this, it's illicit, it's illegal, wrong. All these arguments were made and raised by Manuel Noriega, and Noriega lost all of his arguments because he was a criminal and he was extradited after the U.S. was forced to invade his criminal country. Manuel Antonio Noriega, yes. Died in 2017 at the age of 83 years old. Yep. 1990. He was arrested. Yep. 1999, they sought his extradition from the U.S. He's being tried in absentia and found guilty of murder in Panama in 95. He was in prison in France. Panama asked the French government to extradite him so he could face human rights. September 23rd, 2011, a French court ordered him released to be extradited to Panama. He was extradited to Panama. December 2011, incarcerated and prison to serve totally 60 years. He accumulated in absentia. He had a brain hemorrhage. Announced in 2012 he'd been diagnosed with a brain tumor. And then he was released from prison in 2017, house arrest, and died there. Yeah. Manuel Noriega. This game has been played before, and it was a failure. They failed it. So CNN, thank you. Finally give me the video. Venezuelan leader Maduro lands in Manhattan after being captured by U.S. forces on drug conspiracy charges. Yep. Department of Justice plane that flew him. That's what he came up on. Yep, not a military plane, but Department of Justice plane. So here's some photos of Venezuelans around the world, ladies and gentlemen, around the world. Of course, always doing the best drill. What's this? So let's take a look at some of the photos. This is from the Associated Press. Not exactly a balanced organization, but nonetheless, let's take a look at it. Venezuelans here celebrate the removal of Nicolas Maduro in Lima, Peru. Venezuelans here. They're supporters of Nicolas Maduro. They embrace in Caracas. There's always a few. Here are Venezuelans in Madrid, Spain, celebrating President Trump's announcement that Maduro has been taken down. Here's a supporter of Maduro in Caracas who's apoplectic at the loss of the grifter. Here are Venezuelans in Santiago, Chile, who are thrilled to death that the scumbag has been removed from office. Here's someone else, quite emphatic, exciting. That's Venezuelan in Quito, Ecuador. President Trump announced the capture. And here are Venezuelans ripping apart American flag in Caracas. Yeah, once they see which way the bread is buttered, they'll change. Here's Venezuela in Bogota, Colombia. Excited. And here are the leftist hate wankers, white retards. Notice all the white retards out in front of the White House. White retard protesters rally outside the White House today after the U.S. captured Venezuela and President Nicolas Maduro. All the hate-wanking, America-hating scumbags, deport them. Don't waste your time just in the foreign nationals. Take these scumbags, strip them their citizenship, and send them out of the country too. Here you go. Here's a supporter. Boy, she's got a lot of help. Look at that. Not. Venezuelan Viliana Flores celebrates in Madrid. And here are local thugs armed, harassing civilians, supporters of Maduro. Here are more dumbass, retarded, lazy, retard, brain-dead, white liberals standing in the freezing cold talking about a kidnapped president inside. These people aren't Americans. They're just hateful, hateful people. That's in Newburgh, New York, right outside Stewart Airfield. And here our U.S. Embassy has been defaced by scumbag Venezuelans, all of whom should be arrested. Yep. So we got her picture. Let's get her arrested. Here are people celebrating Buenos Aires, Argentina. And here they are burning the flag on the streets of Caracas. Notice that the only people protesting are in Caracas and the hateful white people in America. She's in Miami. She's very excited about it. Trump bombed Venezuela without authority. Wrong. Wrong. Stupid people in front of the White House. Nadine Cillier of Waldorf, Maryland, dressed in a pink frog costume. Cubans rally in Havana in solidarity. Of course they will. Otherwise they go hungry. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel attends a rally. Venezuelans celebrate in Buenos Aires. Out of Venezuela, outside the embassy in Venezuela, of course. And here men watch smokes from the docks that were bombed by the U.S. government. That's Attorney General Tariq William Saab raising a fist. Notice the neck tattoo. That's the Attorney General with a gangster tattoo. Yeah, okay. Pro-government thugs blocking the streets. There you have it. Lots of pro stuff shown there. Clubs spent a lot of money on rent-a-crowds the past 24 hours. They sure did. When are they fetching Ramalama? Yeah, exactly. Amazing how they always have professional signs at every very short notice. Why these people, white people, go to and protest everything's good? Because they're hateful people. They're the reason why this country is $30-some trillion in debt and why we have 40 million people on food stamps. And why we have racial issues in this country, because they stoke racial hatred while pretending to care about people. Oh, guys, we know. I've talked to the Rent-A-Crowd guy. I've interviewed him on our Common Sense Conservatives program. We talked to the guy. He started a business out of college, Rent-A-Crowd. They do. They rent crowds for everything. Protests against big oil, protests against government, protests against this, protests against that. No, it's true. It's a Rent-A-Crowd. Well, of course, Boise's got plenty of leftists because Boise State University is up there. They tend to gravitate towards university campuses because in the working world, most people won't tolerate their garbage. Nobody said anything about my banners hanging up in the back bookshelves there. It's going to be a bad year for commies. That's right. Flying Eagle 2, what's going on there, man? How you doing? Yeah, Venezuelans are celebrating, but liberal Americans are protesting. Exactly right. Dwayne Funstaden thinks South Africa prime. Things how they always, okay. Probably from Rent-A-Crowd, yep. Noriega is from Panama. Good morning, Dorothea Thornhill. Vance explained it very well in his tweet. Just because you live in a place, Palace and Caracas, doesn't mean the U.S. won't come after you if you're a criminal. I didn't see that. That's good. That's good. So just here's a shot across the bow. If, in fact, MTN was involved in the illicit transfer of funds to the Iranian terror regime, which led to the death of American soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan, well, guess what? Nothing will protect Cyril Ramaphosa. He was chairman when this was going down, if it's true. Noriega is from Nicaragua. No, excuse me, Nicaragua, from Panama. Corporations were always going to drill the oil. They could be the Russian, Chinese, or Western. Exactly. They nationalized it, and then they turned it over to others to drill. Yep. Classic Command says, I think the Colonel misunderstood me. Possibly. You said she. No, I did misunderstand. You're saying news sources saying she fled to Russia. No, the U.S. government has her in their custody. Then someone said you were talking about the vice president. I don't know which. Block-like badges on U.S. military uniform in the left breast pocket. What uniform are you talking about? My uniform? I can't answer that without knowing what you're talking about. Are you talking about the photo that was... hang on a second. Block-like patches? I don't know. Terry, all right, you are paying coyotes to bring you across the border from Mexico. Otherwise, you would have answered. Terry went quiet on me, man. Some commentators are saying it's not only about the oil, but they also got lots of rare earth elements, hence Greenland. It's not even about that, guys. These charges were filed in 2020. We don't want the oil. Okay, let me be clear about this. I don't know why Trump's going on about the oil. I guess he thinks that makes people feel it's justified. It's not about the oil. The oil is crap. The oil in Venezuela is crap. We don't need the oil in Venezuela. In fact, we don't want it. I remember when John Kerry made some sort of deal with the Venezuelan government to have oil shipped to Massachusetts. It's crap. And then, of course, Massachusetts violated the Paris Climate Accords by burning that oil. So, yeah, it's... Ugh. Yep. Yeah, what incredible mission. Take Maduro out of his own capital. Exactly right. Out of his own capital. The fleet is still in the Caribbean. Swing past Cuba. Yeah, I think so. Future looks bright. Ron Poe's squealing because he's scared he's next. Dishonest, stealing. Yeah, I think he might need to be worried. Is Cyril next? That's our next song. Oh, we just got it, folks. We got to make a new song. Is Cyril next? Don't go anywhere. We're going to make a new song right now, right here. You guys are the inspiration for it, man. Is Cyril next? Oh my, oh my. Too early. What's too early, Stratcut? A lot of folks are calling the Kremlin asking for a place to stay. Dictators either end up in U.S. prisons or Russian penthouses. Yeah. Yeah, got more to do with global influence, Russia, China, and Venezuela. Yep, exactly right. Red cherry keys. What are red cherry keys? Come on, man. I need to get this closer here. Stratcat, what's too early? Hey, Chris Ehlers is here. What's going on? Wasn't Maduro captured same day as hosting Chinese delegation? I don't know if that was the case. I missed that. Hey, Willem, what's going on? Okay. All right, let's see what we get here. He was meeting the Chinese 3 hours prior. Well, it was early morning hours, so he had a late night with him. My interactive broker's account. What are you talking about, Roberto Wilco? Okay, let's see what we get out of this now. Why does it do that? I think I have to use a text file otherwise. All right, let's see what we get. Yeah, CB blessings. Where's our BRICS boys talking in chat about how they're going to surpass the U.S.? Pretty quiet today. What about that BRICS currency? Sign autopilot is a tracker that tracks politicians. Trades, you can lock it in. Oh, okay. Thank you for that, Roberto Wilco. Let's see what we get. Okay, let's see what I get now. Let's see what comes out of this. Hang on. That's not what I'm looking for. Where'd it go? It was over here. Maybe I get rid of it. Kimon Shuno. Create. Here we go. Mom, where are we at here now? A little harder than it used to be. I used to be able to figure this out quicker. Let's see what we get now. I was a couple minutes late tonight, folks, because as things always go, just before I went live, like a minute before I went live, all of a sudden the ups for my modem and my voice over IP telephone, which is in the other room, just started screaming. The alarm went off because the battery died. And of course, who has a battery like that? 120 volt battery sitting around. So I had to go unplug it and plug my stuff into the mains and order a battery, which will take 6 days to get here. Charles, what's going on? Dictators, terrorists, and drugglers need to realize there's no coming to the rescue when you're up against Trump. Chinese guy explained why China won't do jack to help Maduro. Everyone's expendable as long as CCP don't get dragged into it. Yep. We need to be fair. When Trump comes for Cyril, the army needs to be blindfolded with one hand tied behind Cyril. All right, let's see what we got here. If we got any good music coming out of this, or if it sucks. Okay, here we go. Sounds ominous.
Is he next? Is he next? The moon was high, the air was cold and still. In the dead of night, they came to make the kill. Not with bullets, but with shadows in the hall. For old Nicolas, it was the final curtain call. A rum banana republic, fading into gray, where a giant stood. Now the walls just give away, from the palace steps to a cold Brooklyn cell. The arrogance of power is a private kind of hell. He's pondering the missteps, the defiance and the lies, while the neon lights of Gotham reflect the terror in his eyes. Oh my, the clock is ticking loud. Who's the next one? Hiding in the cloud. Is Cyril next? Is he waiting for the sound of the special forces landing on the ground? Oh my, the waffle man's in fear. The Union buildings feel the ending drawing near. Meanwhile in the south, the sun begins to set, but Cyril's nibbling fingernails, a frantic little net. He's gnawing at the edges, he's wondering when and how. The MTN problem is screaming at him now. Did you finance the rogue actors? Did you help the desert flame? Did you funnel through the wires in a high-stakes finance game? Iran is on the line, but the signal's breaking down. There's a heavy weight of secrets in the middle of the town. What did the waffle man do wrong? The paper trail is getting long. The Secretary of War is sitting in the light, mapping out the coordinates for another dead of night. Time will tell. Time will Oh my, the clock is ticking loud. Who's the next one? Hiding in the cloud. Is Cyril next? Is he waiting for the sound of the special forces landing on the ground? Oh my, the waffle man's in fear. The Union buildings feel the ending drawing near. Is Ramaphosa next? Who knows, is Cyril next? Who knows, is Cyril next? Oh my, oh my. Oh my, oh my. Is he next? Is he next? The moon was high, the air was cold and still. In the dead of night, they came to make the kill. Not with bullets, but with shadows in the hall. For old Nicolas, it was the final curtain call. Around Banana Republic, fading into gray, where a giant stood. Now the walls just give away, from the palace steps to a cold Brooklyn cell. The arrogance of power is a private kind of hell. He's pondering the missteps, the defiance and the lies, while the neon lights of Gotham reflect the terror in his eyes. Oh my, the clock is ticking loud. Who's the next needles nibbling fingernails, a frantic little net. He's gnawing at the edges, he's wondering when and how. The MTN problem is screaming at him now. Did you finance the rogue actors? Did you help the desert flame? Did you funnel through the wires in a high-stakes finance game? Iran is on the line, but the signal's breaking down. There's a heavy weight of secrets in the middle of the town. What did the waffle man do wrong? The paper trail is getting long. The Secretary of War is sitting in the light, mapping out the coordinates for another dead of night.
Congress runs their mouth. You can't trust them. You can't tell them things. Yep, U.S. tells you to close the airspace. You can bet crap is going to go down soon. Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. Told the airspace is closed if you fly at your own risk.
Who's the next one hiding in the cloud? Is Cyril next? Is he waiting for the sound of the special forces landing on the ground? Oh my, the waffle man's in fear. The
Waffle
Union
Man.
buildings feel the ending drawing near. Is Ramaphosa next? Who knows is Cyril next?
Is Cyril next? Yeah, those were okay. They weren't great. They were okay. Let me get back over here to my stream. How are we doing over here? 173 people currently here. Right. There seems to be two big reasons. President Trump, drugs and terrorism. Third reason, natural resources. Yep. Take the Iranian army, protect his couch. Yeah. Yep. Sarah will have to go to Nkanla House because when America comes from Nkanla, it goes bye-bye. Well, Nkanla's not his. He's going to have to beg for that from Jacob Zuma. Right. I did a couple country versions. Let's see how that came out. See if that came out better than the pop synth version. Let me see what we got here. Okay, here we go. Cyril next. Farsi.
Oh my, did you hear the thunder roll? They came in the dead of night to take a tyrant soul.
Oh, Nicolas Maduro, he was leaning on his pride, but there ain't no place in Caracas left for him to hide.
The special forces landed in that rum banana state, where a once great nation crumbled beneath the heavy hand of hate. Now he's sitting in a Brooklyn jail, staring at the wall, pondering the arrogance that led to such a fall.
This is better.
Yeah, they failed him in the end. Now the whispers cross the ocean, blowing on a southern wind. Is Cyril next? Is the hammer gonna fall? Is there a name upon the ledger, written on the wall? Over in Pretoria, there's a man who's losing sleep, with a secret in the shadows that he's trying hard to keep.
Cyril Ramaphosa nibbling at his silver nails, watching as the Maduro ship lowers down its sails.
He's pacing around the Union buildings, looking at the gate, wondering if the waffle man has met a similar fate.
Now why would Cyril worry about the boys in desert camo.
What's he got to hide behind his political enamel?
Well, that MTN problem, it just won't fade away.
Like a ghost from the boardroom, coming back to play.
Did he help the sons of Tehran?
Did the money find a way
to finance all those rogue actors in the heat of the affray? There's a storm cloud gathering above the Joburg crowd.
Is it justice?
Is it vengeance?
Or a debt that's come due?
When the Secretary of War is the only one who knew.
Is a Ramaphosa next?
Well, nobody can say.
But the special forces don't usually wait for the day.
Is he next?
Is he next?
Just a lonesome waffle man,
wondering
who's next.
Let's see if this is second version coming up shortly. Man, that's good. I hope this was better.
Oh my, did you hear the thunder roll?
That's deep. I love that voice.
They came in the dead of night to take a tyrant's soul.
Oh, Nicolas Maduro, he was leaning on his pride. But there ain't no place in Caracas left for him to hide.
The special forces landed in that rum banana state, where a once great nation crumbled neath the heavy hand of hate. Now he's sitting in a Brooklyn jail, staring at the wall.
This is the one.
Pondering the arrogance that led to such a fall. The defiance and the missteps, yeah, they failed him in the end. Now the whispers cross the ocean, blowing on a southern wind.
Is Cyril next? Is the hammer gonna fall? Is there a name upon the ledger written on the wall?
Stay tuned after this, an update on the Stolze family.
Over in Pretoria, there's a man who's losing sleep, with a secret in the shadows that he's trying hard to keep.
Cyril Ramaphosa nibbling at his silver nails, watching as the Maduro ship lowers down its sails.
He's pacing around the Union buildings, looking at the gate, wondering if the Waffle Man has met a similar fate.
Now why would Cyril worry about the boys in desert camo?
What's he got to hide behind his political enamor?
Well, that MTN problem, it just won't fade away.
Like a ghost from the boardroom, coming back to play.
Did he help the sons of Tehran? Did the money find a way to finance all those rogue actors in the heat of the affray?
Vetter, are you still here?
Clock is ticking loud.
There's a storm cloud gathered above the Joburg crowd.
Is it justice?
Is it vengeance?
Or a debt that's come due?
When the Secretary of War is the only one who knew.
Is Ramaphosa next?
Well, nobody can say.
But the special forces don't usually wait for the day.
Is he next?
Is he next?
Just a lonesome waffle man.
Wondering who's next.
All right, that's the best one, I think. Is he next? Is Cyril next? 77 votes in the poll so far. Country where nothing works. Okay, my chat's cashing an MTM terrifying charge move ahead. And then a lot of big banks are going to be in big trouble. Standard Bank on top of the list. Yes, this one sounds good. He deserves worse. Okay. All right, so if you're still here, Werner, I don't know if Werner's still here. This is a message from my friend. Thank you. It was a real pleasure to meet your friends. They seem like very nice folks, and I'm sure they'll be a great addition to our country and citizenship. Thank you, my friend, for sharing. So that's my friend Gary Rehart, and this is more AI-generated content here on the channel. For those who think it's AI-generated content, there you go. There is the Stoltze family, and that's not coming in very clearly. There we go. Stoltze family and my friends who are in their late 80s, and me earlier this evening. Took them by to visit. So today, Stoltz family, I linked up with them after the Stormers miraculously won that game, but they played like shite again. I went to a hotel where I booked in for them. We went up there and sat down, and I did an interview with them live. A number of people watched that. About 5,000 people watched that stream. Thank you for that impromptu interview. It was a lovely conversation. From there, we went to the Pennsylvania State Museum, which is pretty cool. It's got dinosaurs, natural resources, wildlife, industrial development, coal, oil, steel, all the things that made Pennsylvania great, and a whole section on the Pennsylvania Turnpike and the Bicentennial, which is now 50 years behind us. Fascinating. But the Pennsylvania State Museum, which was lovely. From there, it was getting a bit later, and kids were interested in seeing snow. They'd never seen snow in their lives. There is a ski resort not too far from Harrisburg and not all that far from my home, and so we drove there, and the kids got to see snow. I've got a video on that as I'm explaining to them how the ski lifts work and everything. I'll show you guys that when I get a chance. I'll upload it. Didn't have a chance yet tonight. From there, I had a surprise for them. I went to see my friend Gary and his wife, and Beverly, and we surprised them, popped in, and they got to meet them because he asked me a lot about South Africa. He was one of the people who was aware of my election campaign and is one of the movers and shakers in the area. And so Gary was always asking me about South Africa, and so I figured what a great opportunity for me to meet some South Africans. So I met the Stoltze family. It was Werner and Naomi and the kids, Emma, Ella, and Vea. So yeah, that was a surprise. And then for dinner, I took them to the Veterans Organization, the VFW, and they got to see the VFW and eat the meals there. And they got to see firsthand how the challenges I faced as commander there. As I gave specific, clear instructions to the kitchen because it was slow, went back and have a very inexperienced cook explain, this is what we need. We're going to have 7 meals coming. And then I told the waitress 7 meals, explaining to her exactly what I wanted. And then we had the kids' meals come out first so they could eat because one person cooking 7 meals is a lot. You got to time it. So my meal came out, and I'd ordered chicken cheesesteak, and I was brought a burnt steak, cheesesteak. And so they had to take it back and make me another one. And anyway, so those guys got to see up close and personal how challenging it can be when it comes to that sort of thing. A tactical strike on the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, any crime case investigation will tell you if a case goes cold, the wheel of justice keeps turning. Find you one day. Yeah, that's true, Alan. That's true. I never stopped investigating things when I was doing law enforcement work. Yep. Counterintelligence work, I should say. What is this beard is not playing nice. This right here. There you go. Put it back in there. It's not looking. There's something going on. I have to cut that. It's a nice update. Discovery. You should be quick because U.S. had to provide all the detail the grand jury is justifying. Yep. Like a deepfake creator decides we'll bring about the removal of President Trump. Maybe. All right, so 100 votes, that's a representative sample. Let's go ahead and close it. 49 said Iran. Okay. Currently surrounded by mainstream media nonsense. Call in air support for you. Got to send me all these, Max. These are great. Yeah. So I made a video just before this, folks. I don't know if anybody got a chance to see it. It wasn't up very long before we went live. Let me see how many people watch it now. It's been at least an hour since I put it up, over an hour. So let's see. Yeah, I put that up an hour and 30 minutes ago. It's at 4,500 views. That's not bad, but 3,500 come the last hour, so it's picking up as people wake up in South Africa. Yeah, so I wonder how many hate messages I got on that video. Yeah, I'm sure there's a few. I got 1 dislike, so that's not too bad. 51 likes. That's cool. If the U.S. wants to come and collect a few caters for a court case or two, as a South African, they have my permission. I'm also willing to extend an invitation to SEAL Team 6 for extracting the caters they must attend to Bri. What's this? What's this? Wait, so to concur is not criminal. Who knew? Apparently non-whites call it. Is that what? I'm speechless. What? I have no idea what this guy's saying. You can't just do things. Yep. Time is clearly running out for these South African criminals. Please, please let this be real. Lucky for Outpost South, he doesn't have crap loads of oil like Venezuela. Trump won't bother. Well, we'll see. It's about drugs and human rights violations. Yes, please come fetch them. I said Iran, but it could be Cuba. Yeah, I don't know about Cuba. But, Iran seems to be more likely. There's actually a popular uprising underway there already. Yeah, no, Trump seems to want to clean up the world, man. That new video didn't ping? Okay. Like the stream of the Colonel runs out of coffee. Oh, gosh, yeah, I haven't had a Starbucks. Man, I haven't had a Starbucks in so long. Today makes, or tomorrow technically makes 2 months since I've had a Starbucks. Is it time to break the fast? Is it time to break the fast? Or should I wait until after I've had my injection in my hip? Sim statute limitations doesn't apply to things like that's correct. That is correct. Those federal crimes don't have a statute of limitations for terrorism. Narco-terrorism doesn't either. Yep. Those statutes are indefinite. Yep. They're so egregious that they're indefinite. It's like murder. There's no statute of limitations for murder that I'm aware of anywhere. Yep. It's minor or less egregious crimes that have statute of limitations. Latest court report from Reserve Bank, and it's clear how retail and Treasury Bank can manipulate the rand. Yeah, no, they can't do it for much longer. They keep the press keeps the uninformed press and uninformed economists who are trying to prop up the regime keep talking about how the rand is strong and how well it's going to deal. Well, that's because you're manipulating the currency with bond buying. You can't sustain it. It won't last. Yeah, the Magnitsky Act is something that can be invoked at any time. The bills in the House and Senate by Kennedy and by Ronnie Jackson may get some traction now. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. I did that short U.S. invades Venezuela. That didn't do so well. We got 18,000. But then my live I did after that, that did okay. 13,000. Let's see how many got. It's a struggle. 13,300. I thought I would have got more views on that. Oh, well. Such is life. Twins and mommy watching. Now I know who that is. Now I know who that is. Okay. Do you support any South African rugby teams? Oh my God, it's Benjamin Hayes. Are you serious? You obviously must be new and don't know anything about me. I am a decades-long supporter of Province and a Stormers supporter since they came into existence. Yep, I like the Griquas. I root for them whenever they play, unless it's against Province. And I even root for, not that I like them, I even root for the Pumas occasionally and others. But I do. I got a soft spot for the Cheetahs, but it's the Stormers and Province, and I like the Griquas beyond that. It was so great to see them win the Curry Cup this year. Fantastic. They should have won a few years ago when the Pumas beat them. Jimmy Stonehouse got it done. Do I like Southern rugby teams? Absolutely. I've been a Springbok fan since 1982. I've been a Province fan since about 83. Yep. That's right. Oh, that's good. Tracking skills. A good scout leaves no trace, but a good viewer leaves a like. That's good. Wow, you've been working hard on these, Mad Max. You going to send me all these, man? If USA does Cuba next, it will affect South Africa with all the Cubans, South African Cubans doing military equipment repairs. What's the difference between Mexican Coke and U.S. Coke? Taste, Charles. Taste. The U.S. Coke is made with high fructose corn syrup, and the Mexican Coke is made with pure cane sugar, bottled in bottles, how Coca-Cola is meant to be drank, not in cans or plastic. Thank you, Max. Okay, no worries. I just want to make sure you're going to send them. Well, I don't know if it's better, if it's healthier, Willem. I think it's healthier because high fructose corn syrup is very bad for you. Definitely something contributes. Sharks rule, says Joe, Texas. Well, let's not get carried away. By the way, let's take a look at the United Rugby Championship standings after today. And let me look at my Super Brew because, man, oh man, I was getting crucified in my Super Brew, but then it started to come back. I don't know where it ended. Let's take a look and see. So let me take a look at my dashboard. URC site is really slow. Okay. I came back. I was in really bad shape. Not a great weekend, but I had 5 games that saved my butt. I got 5 out of 7 today. I missed the Benetton game. They lost by a point. And I missed the Sharks game. I picked the Sharks by 7, and the Lions won that game. Yeah, that hurt. Those two hurt me. The only one that I really got blown out on, that really, well, 2 actually, the Newcastle and Gloucester game, and Ulster and Munster on Friday. I got those completely wrong. But today, I mean, the Lions and Benetton losing by 1 point killed me. If those two had not lost by 1 point, I would have picked up 7 for 7 today, and I would have had 4 match points. But at least I won't get the wooden spoon. No, the matches were terrible today. They were not impressive at all. Not impressive at all. Sorry, they just were not. Was not impressed. 13-8. The Stormers, once again, the Stormers are not an 8-0 team. It's my team. I love them, but man, they are not an 8-0 team. They just, I know all you got to do is win, win, win. But Glasgow won. Now Glasgow's on their heels again. Glasgow with 2 losses is only 2 points behind them because they got 6 bonus points. Yep. So that's just terrible. They played one more game as well. So the Stormers now, they have 36 points, 8 wins. So halfway through the season, they're undefeated and they have 36 points. At that pace, they arguably could get 72 points roughly. But Glasgow's right on their ass. 7 wins, 2 losses, 34 points on the log. Ulster, a game behind them, and 5 points, so they could catch them conceivably. Cardiff, 5 points behind them. They played 9 games. Leinster played 9 games. They are 6-3 at 30 points. They're really sucking. Leinster's in 5th place. Munster in 6th place at 6-3. Then come the Lions at 4-4, who won today, 21 points. Benetton, who lost, they're 4-5 at 19 points. Osprey at number 9 at 18 points. And the Bulls have dropped to 11th position, 16 points on log. And the Sharks are in 14th. Those two won't make it. People are arguing the Lions won't make it either. They're going to say 3 of the 4 South African sides don't make it to the playoffs this year. Traditionally, 3 of the 4 have made it, so it's going to be rough. It was a power game between the Fords, but it was boring. Ginger beer. Yeah, both kept us on the edge to the end. Yeah, I agree with that. Future looks bright. They were not exciting games, but they kept us on the edge, and they were close at the end. Yeah, and the Stormers and the Lions, more so the Lions, pipped them at the post. But nobody said anything about my banners yet. Look at that. 250 years. There you go. That one there and that one. No one said anything about these yet. Or did you and I missed it? Thanks for the comment on my song on my channel. It's very boring, but I'm a prop, so I love that kind of style, says Benjamin Hayes. Well, I'm a winger, so that stuff bores me to tears. New Zealand, Australia are missing the South African team. Oh, they are, Stefan. The Super Rugby sucks. With the Pacific Nations, it sucks. It sucks. Super Rugby is boring. Well, they ruined it. It went from 12 to 14. 14 was the optimal number to 15 to 18. It was too many things. And they added Japan, and Japan only played in Japan sometimes. The rest of the time they played like in Singapore or something like that. It was crazy. Yep. Yeah, Mexican Coke from the glass bottle is the best tasting Coca-Cola. Well, I mean, Coca-Cola, I'd say that's the best one. And that's how Coke used to be in the States, but it was ruined years ago. Yep. So Stormers in first place after all these games. Let's take a look at Rugby 365 and see what they have to say about the games. I thought the game was kind of turgid, to be honest. Yeah. Pede breaks Sharks' hearts as Lions steal win at the death. Yeah. Stormers Jazz Bulls with late try North-South derby. A late try from replacement prop Mtukumkunu gave the Stormers a 13-8 win over the Bulls in round 9. They're not taking those points over and over again. Really pissed me off. It's Cape Tony's 8th win from 8 matches competition as they gave themselves some breathing space at the top of the standings. It was a game lacking in quality in the field, but it still managed to grab the attention. The attention and aggression associated with North-South derbies were there from start to finish. The score is leveled 8-8 and the clock winding down. The Stormers gambled by turning down kickable penalties and opting for lineouts. One of those lineouts turned into a powerful driving maul, which saw Nkunu going over for the winning score in the 79th minute. It was a frenetic start by both teams in the opening quarter. It had a bit of everything, including some huge hits. However, composure was lacking in the strike zone. The Bulls thought they opened scoring in the 18th minute when Ambrose Papier pounced on a loose ball in the Stormers' half of the kick before dotting the ball down. However, a lengthy team revealed that his knee crossed the dead ball line before scoring. Yep. I thought initially he had it. I thought he got it, and then I saw the replay, and I'm like, nope. Yeah, I was going to say, is he using AI to come up with that? First points game came third. Sasha Feinberg Umuzuna made a 2-point ball game with a penalty goal. They missed conversion. Yeah. It was not impressive. Yeah, the Lions' hearts were broken, man. Broken. Hashim Pied delivered a dramatic late try in Durban as the Lions snatched a 23-22 victory from the jaws of defeat, breaking Sharks' hearts. Yep. Wow. Oh, but that red card was wicked. Yeah, well, Sasha needs to play better than that, Benjamin. He was not impressive today. He missed so many things. He's kicking the ball into touch when he should have been kicking touch, not making touch on penalty kicks. You know, he just was killing the Stormers today. They couldn't rely on him. His game was not up to scratch. Yep, disappointing. But hey, can't win them all, right? Overall, not good rugby. Too many mistakes and slow. Agreed. My banners only started recently, like 2 weeks of freedom. Yes, Conrad, Super Rugby's best one was 14 teams, 100%. Come back for the Sharks from the start of the year. What about them, Benjamin? What about it? Oh, you love... Sorry, Will, I didn't see you said you love it. Sorry, as I said, I think maybe I just missed when people commented. I missed their comments, but thank you for that. Rich will stay in New York now. They are crapping themselves. The rich have been leaving New York for some time. They're running out of tax base. The city is in desperate trouble. Yep. Yeah, the Sharks are playing better of late, but they just can't seal the deal. Cannot seal the deal. It was an avoidable tragedy. Now we're hearing the truth about what happened in Switzerland. The fire that killed 47 people in a Swiss bar on New Year's Day was made more likely by apparent flaws in the site's design and management. Police officers outside the bar La Constellation where a devastating fire left many people dead or injured. Sparklers shooting foot-long flames, a ceiling covered in flammable foam, a crowded basement with narrow staircase exit that became a choke point. Some of the avoidable hazards that fire experts and witnesses in the New York Times analysis of visual evidence suggest turned a festive bar in a Swiss Alpine resort into a death trap as fire tore through the New Year's celebration, causing a stampede and killing at least 40 people. Yep. There you go. It's a lesson we should have learned decades ago, but keep repeating. As Noah Bercier, 20, a marketing coordinator, played billiards at the bar early on the New Year's Day, he noticed waiters hurrying to and fro carrying wine bottles fixed with sparklers. It was these, according to the regional chief prosecutor, that likely caused the fire. Mr. Bercier said he could not tell whether the sparklers set the blaze, but he noticed the ceiling had burst into flames shortly after waiters brought them out. It was as though all the ceiling had been soaked with something and instantly caught fire. He has severe burns. Arnaud Trouvé, professor at the University of Maryland, Department of Fire Protection and Engineering, said the foam should be the first target of inquiry because of its potential to drastically spread flames. Similar material has long been a culprit in deadly mass blazes in nightclubs and music venues, including those in Rhode Island and Brazil. 5 feet wide, and the staircase gets narrower as it goes up. Managers of the Swiss bar are suspected of negligence in the deadly fire. Look at all those fireworkers. Two managers of the bar in Swiss Alps, where at least 47 people died in a sudden fire, have been placed under criminal investigation because of allegations of negligence. Identify the owners of the bar as a French couple, Jacques and Jessica Moretti, who opened it in 2015 after extensive renovations. They didn't respond to earlier requests for comment from the New York Times. We can neither sleep nor eat. We're all in a terrible state, Mr. Moretti told 20minutes.ch, a local news site. Well, that's not good. Yeah, no, I got you, Xavier. I know you can't scrimp on safety. 20 minutes Swiss site. Le proprio. On fera tout notre possible pour aider l'enquête. We'll do everything possible to aid the investigation. Un jour après la catastrophe, le propriétaire de Constellation prend la parole. Il assure sa pleine coopération avec les autorités. A day after the catastrophe, the owner of the Constellation spoke. He assured that they would offer cooperation with authorities. That's what the Constellation used to look like. Au lendemain de la catastrophe, le propriétaire du bar lounge, la Constellation, est visiblement marqué par les événements. Overnight after the catastrophe, the owner of the bar lounge was visibly disturbed by the events. Il se trouve avec sa famille dans sa maison de Lens, village voisin de grandes montagnes et balai devant entrée lorsque c'est entré avec 20 minutes. They found him in a neighboring village, which is where his home is. There's more. France News 24. French Twitter. Never paid attention to it. Stormers didn't play well tonight, but they're still the best in the RC. At the moment, yes, they are, Benjamin. When does football start? What football? American football? It starts in September. And it's ongoing. Sasha set the bar so high, anything but spectacular performances. Well, I mean, when you miss every kick and you kick it into touch when you're not supposed to every single time. I mean, 4 penalties, he couldn't get into touch. Very disturbing. Can I make explain the reason behind Trump's decision to enter Venezuela effects on UN from your perspective? Dieter, I can think about that. Boise plays on the Smurf turf. Yep, that's right. The blue turf at Boise State. Initially, it will frustrate you a lot. They have continuous stops. Nah, well, are you talking about football? Nah. So where else are we at here? U.S. military operation has disrupted Caribbean holiday travel. Shame. Hundreds of flights were canceled. U.S. military operation to capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and flew him out of the country early Saturday also disrupted Caribbean travel at a busy time for the region. No airline flights were crossing from over Venezuela on Saturday. Yep. So I showed the Stoltze family kids. I talked to them about, what the heck is this? Okay. Oh, that's nothing. I can delete that. So I talked to them, and we were at the ski place, and I gave them a little tour.
So that's a chairlift, okay? The chairlift is how you get to the top of the slope. And so when you ski down, you have to get in line. You see the ambulance come down, they drop the people off the top, they take the rest of the people up there. You see that the lights on. They have different kinds. They have the easy, then the more hard, then the most difficult. And they use colors for it. So they have the red, the blue, and the black. The black is the most difficult, most challenging. And that's where you come down really, really fast. So you see people, these are skis, called alpine skis. And those guys over there have what's called snowboards. See where they have their poles? That's a snowboard. Kind of like a surfboard, except you go on the snow. Is that cool? There's not enough snow here to build a snowman. You have to wait till it actually snows properly. So the snow that they have here, a lot of this they had to make because there hasn't been much snow. What's that? You see him jumping? Yeah, you see him jumping over there? That's your snowboard. Kind of fun, huh? But you have to have good balance.
Anyway, it's about 3 minutes. So I was showing the Stoltz family kids talking about skiing and snowboarding and luging. Yep. Only love the sharks, says Benjamin. Okay. So, folks, if you've been sending emails the past couple of days, I've been fully engaged, and I'll be engaged tomorrow, too. I won't have any time to really get in depth in those until sometime Monday evening, probably. I'll try, though. But we are close. We're just a few days away from things resuming for people in the program. No, but Sasha's had a couple of games in a row where he's been off. A couple games in a row. How are we doing? 159 likes, 811 views. Been at this for an hour and a half. Angelique, I'm okay. I'm just knackered. I'm very tired. I made that video earlier, and I had a hard time making the video, but it seems to be doing okay at the moment. Let me take a look at it. Let's watch that. View it on YouTube. Let's watch a little bit of that. Okay. So here's the one I made earlier. Hopefully you guys can watch it. Oh, that's not it. There we go. Okay.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice.
Good evening, folks. This is a topic I've largely skipped over, not really avoided, but didn't talk much about, as I hope that the court cases would play out. But now that the United States has attacked Venezuela, captured its former president, who we didn't consider to be legitimately elected after stealing election, and been extradited back to the United States, having arrived in New York for his criminal activity, alleged criminal activity in drugs trafficking and terrorism against the United States. Now that that's happened, perhaps it's time to begin to unpack something that ought to be of great concern to Cyril Ramaphosa and the politicians of the African National Congress in South Africa. South Africa's ties to Iran are coming under increasing scrutiny in the United States, and that heat is being turned up on South African telecoms company MTN, which was previously chaired by none other than President Cyril Ramaphosa, now chaired by Nkabisi Jonas, South Africa's so-called special envoy to the United States, who is listed as an independent non-executive chairman. On the 17th of March of 2025, the MTN board of directors authorized the most recent version of its annual financial statements. That report disclosed that MTN Group is involved in a total of 5 anti-terrorism cases in U.S. courts. 5 Anti-Terrorism Act cases. President Ramaphosa has faced scrutiny and allegations related to the MTN Group's past business dealings in Iran, which occurred when he was the company's executive chairman and later non-executive chairman from 2001 to 2013. Now, the core issues stem from lawsuits and a recent U.S. Department of Justice investigation into whether MTN used bribery to secure a telecom license in Iran and allegedly funneled money to entities linked to the Iranian government, which in turn financed attacks that killed American soldiers. This is not a small or trivial issue here. It's the sort of issue that we now see Trump will take seriously and go after someone. Is Cyril next on the list? Wow. But folks, it's not just Ramaphosa that's in the crosshairs. Remember his special envoy to the United States? This is a problematic issue for South African special envoy to the U.S., Nkabisi Jonas, who was MTN chairman of the board when the most recent annual financial statements were reported. Now, as chairman of the board, he had a fiduciary responsibility to protect the interests of MTN Group as well as its shareholders. This included ensuring that the board of directors exercised proper oversight of the annual financial statements and didn't become embroiled in terrorist support. Now, this hasn't gone unnoticed in South Africa. Part of the Government National Unity, the Democratic Alliance, on the 25th of August, 2025, made it very clear, stating publicly that MTN is under U.S. investigation for alleged ties to terrorist networks, not a dirty tricks campaign against South Africa. Ramaphosa and Jonas both have personal interest in downplaying the probe, given their roles at MTN. The Democratic Alliance further said that Ramaphosa must answer why he appointed Jonas as U.S. Special Envoy despite a clear conflict of interest in this case. They also said the media like to present themselves as corruption busters, but all too often they become complicit in covering up malfeasance by acting as a mouthpiece for those seeking to shield themselves in corruption scandals. And that would have to be the case here. The MTN scandal ought to be the biggest thing on the plate in South Africa. not News 24 disabusing of our notion that Johannesburg is the world's largest man-made forest. That's their fact-checking, not what's going on with MTN. Anyway, that's the video I did earlier. Please go watch it when you get a chance. I'd appreciate the views on it. Would be helpful. Got 2 dislikes on it now. 518 likes. So let me see how it's doing for views. It was 4,500 last time I checked. Let's see if we got another 100 or 2. 6,700. We got another 2,200 views since I last mentioned. 6,700. So that's a good start. Hopefully that one will take off. I think the thumbnail says it all. Yep, been getting away with crap for years and no one's done anything about it. ANC should listen to the part of the speech Rubio speaks. He's very clear and precise message to other countries, even more than Trump. Yep. Pretty extensive. No, you're right, future looks bright. Trump knows what's going on all the times. When I saw a video of this war room during his presidential run, I knew there was big crap coming for his enemies. Next cell upgrade is going to have to be with Vodafone. Okay. Yep. All right, guys. How are we doing on the stream here? Let's take a look real quick. 860. I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm tired. I need some sleep. Tomorrow, more on the road. I'll do an early news broadcast on Sunday, and then I'll be on the road with the Stolze family. We're going to the Army History and Education Center in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, then Gettysburg National Battlefield Monument. And I will, I don't usually do a Saturday night stream, so this is another one that's a bonus one. And then I will catch you guys on the road as we do live streams on the road, okay? Dead quiet on what's really important. Yep, they are. Thank you for being here, Benjamin Hayes. Love how mainstream media questions the intelligence that Trump receives as if their sources know more. Their sources are just they're just cockprodders and liars. If the mainstream media was covering news, then the Stolze family would have been covered by the South African media that's been lying about the refugee program. But it won't be because it refutes their narrative. Therefore, it will be buried. All right? But we'll keep telling the world. All right, you guys, have a good night. Thanks for being here. God bless. Be well. And we'll see you later. I am really knackered. I bet you I'll fall asleep within 20 minutes. Cheers.